Hello, beautiful people. How are we all doing? Welcome to the AFL Show Live. New series we've got going on for the rest of the year, moving into 2026. Thank you all for joining me. Hope we're all doing well. It feels like a long time since I've seen you guys and girls, but it's been 8 days, which in Pom time seems a long time. I've been really sick the last couple of days because I've been on loads of antibiotics, but you'll notice my finger looks a little bit better, so that's good. Hope we're all doing well. Some real good stuff to cover tonight. Nice, easy show. Wanted to cover finals footy, and then I've got something that no other content creator will do because they don't often do it. So I've got something that we can have a play with that I'm going to give to you guys and girls so you can actually play with it yourselves. So welcome to the show. Can you hear me? All right. My mic auto-synced to a different mic and then resynced back. So you should be able to hear me. Can you hear me? Let me know. Should instantly sound better. Is that English? If it's not, who cares? But welcome, Says. Can see Jacana, Only Cow, and Nathan, Rob, Caden. How are you all? So, I mean, let's talk about it. We've got the new AFL things come out, hasn't it? The new AFL wildcard. So what are your thoughts on the wildcard? Let me know what you guys think. Like, I think at face value, I hate it, right? But then I think about it, and you know what? I hate to be that guy. We're all going to watch it, aren't we? Like, let's be honest, right? We're all going to watch it. So there is the wild card. So what's going to happen now is 8th and 9th will be in an elimination final, really, 7 and 10. My reservation's a little bit like you, Caden. I look at it this way, right? So 10 out of 18 teams are playing finals, right? So that's what? Roughly 60%? Isn't it? Roughly 60% of the teams are playing finals? Would I be correct in that? Let me do it. 55%, so I wasn't bad. Now, if you told me out of 100 school children, my kids were 55th, I wouldn't think that's special. I would go bang average. Do you know what I mean? I need to educate my kids better. Like, I'd have to push them. I think 8 out of 18, in my opinion, is still too much. James, I agree. When it's 19, yeah, it gets a little bit better, but it's still going to be like nearly half of the... Like, for me, finals should be reserved for the best of the best. Like, you're talking your top 20, 30%. Like, I understand it stops dead rubbers and it's good for money. But, yeah, I agree, Zach. Spot on, mate. Like, FIFA, I don't do it. I'm trying to work out who asked for this. I'm genuinely trying to work out who asked for this. Because I don't think I did. Right? So, I don't know about you guys. I didn't ask for it. Someone obviously did. You see, I agree with this, James. You see, I like the top 6 the way it was, mate, as well, because I think the 6 is there. I agree, Ben. That's the problem. So, I mean, like, look, don't get me wrong, though. I'm not going to be... I'm with you, Helena. You know what, though? I'm not going to lie. Like, Carlton play someone in that 8 to 9, 7 to 10. Am I telling everyone Carlton are in finals? Bet your ass to a barn dance I am, right? You bet your ass to a barn dance I'm going to do it, right? So what I've got now is I want something a little bit cool for you. So, you know me, I like to help you guys out, right? And we have a bit of fun while we do it. But let's have a look at this. So I wanted to show you this, right? So I think the best way for people to learn is with ideas, right? With ideas, right? So what I've done here is I wanted to show you how the AFL do the bid matches in real time, and then I'm going to show you something, right? So what we're going to do here, right? What we're going to do here is we're going to refer to our other sheet, right? So if we refer to our other sheet and I show you this. So this was 2023. So all that's changed from 23 to now is the AFL points value. But I wanted to show you a real time, right? So when we look at this, right, that was what happened for a bid in pick 3. Now, there's a bit of a misunderstanding about this. I've seen a lot of people, I'm not picking on anyone because it's complicated, right? It's complicated, but I've seen a lot of people try and explain this and actually get it wrong, right? Actually get it wrong. So if we look at the AFL example, what they're saying for this bid match to occur was pick 58 and 60 and 87 with a change, right? And they spent 26, right? 30 and 32. I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for the $5, Ben. Much love, mate. Wildcard, great potential for trolling memes. Can't wait, right? So what I wanted to show you what happens, why people get it wrong, right? Is because of this, right? Is because of this. So people assume how the AFL do the bid match is this. They go 1787. This is the old rules, remember? Right? They take 26. They take 30. They take 32. Right? And you can see 155. Right? The AFL rules are closest to, not above. Remember that. Closest to, not above. So people assume this is the logical way the AFL would do it. They would do that, but they do that after we've done this. So what people assume will happen is this. 26, 30, 32 get eaten up, right? This is what people think will happen. I'm going to show you why it's wrong, right? Gold Coast bid match will make yellow, right? They think this happens, then this happens. We've got a leftover amount of 155. They think that happens, right? So this is where a lot of them calculators at the minute you're seeing online, they're working it out on this illogical system. And as you can see, in our system, that's not 58, right? That's not 58. I'm going to explain to you now why that's wrong. So we'll reset everything we've done, right? Everything we've done will go right back to the start, right? And we'll replace Gold Coast back here in 2026, right? So what happens is, as soon as this bid comes in, why that is right and why it's important to remember is 155 is the first thing that's added, right? So what the AFL do, because it actually works out better for you, what the AFL do is they find the closest to 155 that's not above it, so it has to be the same. They then do this. They delete Gold Coast, they delete that, they delete this. They then kill these. They do that. They give Gold Coast that pick there. Right, and you watch this now. It'll mirror exactly because 58 is there now. And then because they've used an extra pick, because at this stage they had too many players, that's what happened, right? So you see, that's what happened. So you can see there, when people do it, they get it wrong, right? So that is how the draft would look at that stage, right? So then I've got another example for you to make it work, right? So then we move this across And if we go back to what the AFL did, are you ready? Stay with me, because you should be able to get it, right? This was the next bid that came in at pick 9, right? So we go back. So see that there? 49 for 34, 38, and 40, right? So I'm going to make it easy for you. Right? So stay with me. So this is what the ladder looks like. The yellow pick indicates their last thing. Now, there was a trade in this occurrence, as you can see. 8 and 17 were Adelaide. And GWS took 11 and whatever that is, 11 and 15, right? So then what happened at this stage is everyone has bid, right? At this stage, all these picks have gone. There was a bid on here. So again, what we do is we take this over, right? We take this over just so you get an understanding of it in real time. So this time, they got 49 back, according to the system, right? And they used 34, 38, and 40, right? So what I want to show you is why people get this wrong, right? We go here, 34, 38, 40. We put this here. 1175 is what we've got to match, right? So we get 261, right? So 261 nearest to is 51, right? Because it's over. Gold Coast, go there. Then what we do, remember, is we delete Gold Coast picks, which are 34, 38, and 40. We jump up here. And we move that. Gold Coast have got another bid here. We go bang. We go bang. And we should have pick 49 as the change. So this is why it's really important, right? So what I want you to think with that in mind, when you see people, what they do is they do it the way that is wrong, right? They delete all the picks and then implement your change. So that is why it's wrong. So do you want to see something really cool? Right? Do you want to see something really cool? I've made something, right? I've made something. Because what I like to do is I like to help my brothers and sisters, right, out of the world community. So if I do this and I delete that, I'm really excited to show you this. Like, I've worked really hard. I've been sick in bed and I've made this. So here you are. Here is the Pommy mock draft, right? So the Pommy mock draft sheet. So I have spent ages on this, right? So how we built this, and I speak for everyone here, right, is, I'll be honest, I got using a bit of AI because I don't know how to code. And then a good mate of mine, Donovan, has helped me with some back-end code, because the code for AFL's bid matches is the most complex you'll ever see. It doesn't make any logical sense, right? So what you'll see is we've got a few little things. Now, I'm going to release this to the general public, so it's still in beta phase. We have rigorously tested this, me and a few good mates. We have tested this until we break it. So at the moment, it is pretty good. So you can play with this yourself, right? You can play with this yourself, right? So it's going to be open to the public. I'm not going to be like everyone else who keeps it for myself. I don't believe in that. I believe that everyone should have a tool to learn. I know this stuff. I want you guys to know it too, right? So what you'll know is there's some little things, right? I want to take you through the features before we play with it. If you hover over the club, right, it does work on everything, right? It works on everything. It works on everything. So if you hover over the club, what it'll do is it will give you how many players they're expected to take. So you'll see 5 left. That's based on their list spots, but also the AFL rumours with players training on. You'll also see what we think they want. What we think they want. Achay with the 50. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you, mate. Don't play with yourself. No, mate, don't do it in public, bro. Blue Baggy, you're an alpha to me, mate. Right? So if you hover over this, you'll see what the types of things the teams are looking for, right? So we go to Richmond, you'll see there's a massive lag, but they're looking for speed mids, maybe future toes. Essendon, what are they looking for? They're looking for powerful mids. They've got quite a lot of NGAs. You go to Carlton. Carlton have obviously got father-son NGAs to worry about. Don't be a dickhead, they are. Right. Tell you what, when you're streaming it, it's so hard. Outside class, so some outside run, key forward depth. Right, you've got that. Another option you've got, which we've built in, is these spreadsheets. So these spreadsheets will tell you if that player fits the bill, right? The player fits the bill to that club. Then you've also got just some brief little facets of every player's game. Now, this is a massive difference to anyone else you've seen. Also, this has got over 130 players in it, right? This has got everyone currently we know who is in the AFL draft, right? There's some exciting features as well. You can filter by untied. You can feature by tied. You can do that. So these are some key components. Shane, I can add that function. Bear with me, because it is coding, and I have had to learn coding as well. So some things you can't do using AI, and that's why I think some of these simulators are wrong. I did, Julian, yes. So AI wrote the script, and then I have manually edited with the help of a couple of mates that do this for a living to achieve what I want to. So it's taken us quite a long time, right? Taken us quite a long time, this. So another feature here is it gives you just the brief rules. So look, what we'll do is we'll do this. Now, this is what I'm super proud of, right? When you come up here, I've noticed a lot of these simulators here this will give Gold Coast pick 42 usually, because people have got how the rules are worked. They've got it wrong, right? So it's pick 43. So that, I can't tell you, mighty hard, I can't tell you how fucking long this has taken. This has been 3 months of work, right? So I had this idea in June, and we finally got it working to a state that I'm happy to share it with you, because the aim is always to share it with the audience. I don't want this stuff for myself, because I think the more you understand about the draft mechanics, the more you'll watch me and enjoy my content, because I won't lose you, right? So when you do this, this is really interesting, right? Automatically kills the picks. So all these picks have disappeared. So we've got that, right? Are you ready for something else exciting? If you go down to here, we've got live picks, right? So this is really exciting, right? Really, really exciting. Because what we've done is we've core averaged, as you can see here, what the first rounders are in the future. We've taken an average for your points, right? So you'll see here, right, we average what a first rounder costs, we've averaged what a second rounder costs, and we've averaged a third rounder. Now, I had a coffee with a list manager a couple of weeks ago, and he said that this is what they do for like 12 of the teams that they're unsure of. If they know someone's 18th, obviously it's 3,000 points, stuff like that, but they do that, right? So I've also added that. So when you do a trade, right? So let's close this down, right? Let's reset it, refresh it, right? So this is back to the start of the pick. Let's talk about some trades, right? One of the trades we're hearing at the minute is pick 13 and pick 34 for Carlton's pick 9, right? So if we do this, got to come out of that screen. I've got to reset that. There we are, right? So if we do that, Carlton and thingy, so pick 13 and 34 for pick 9. You'll see there that from West Coast point of view, they're plus 90 points up. So this is a valuable trade, right? A valuable trade. Thank you so much for the 10. Thank you very much. So there's going to be loads added to this that you guys can go. So I want feedback. If you see something, there's a few temperamental issues like you've got to press reset before you start drafting. So, the code implements. We've had a lot of fun though. So this has been vigorously tested. I now know how to do package trade things. So this was good. Milkshakes, not true. Not true. So my two mates that helped me do this, they said the only way they would help is if I learned to do it. So they pointed me in the direction. So that's why it's taken so long. I've had to learn little fundamentals of it. So it's a team effort though. It's a team effort. Without them and them to guide me, I wouldn't have done it. Without AI creating a base, I wouldn't have had a clue how to do it. Without researching how to do the intricate things, I wouldn't have known how to do it. So teamwork, not purely me. Not purely me. I'll take 48%, right, of it. I'll take 48%. Because they have no idea about AFL. But, pretty cool system, right? Couple of other things we've got in this as well, right? Couple of other things you've got in this as well. Right, so a couple of other things in this as well, right, that we've got is it actually forces you to not be able to match. So we've built into the system the rules, right? We've built into the system the rules. So when we get to Gold Coast here, I fucked that up and did Danny Hannibal. That's why. I was going to say that's not right. If we go club tied, right, let's find Gold Coast. It's cretins. Right? See? It won't let you do the trade. So it won't let you do the trade. So it actually warns you that you can't do the trade. Right? So from here, you'd have to execute a trade and whatnot and things like that. So that's really a really cool feature of it. I have seen it. I wouldn't say he's my friend. I know of him. This is my version, right? So if you watch the start of the show, I explained where a lot of these algorithms are going wrong because people are getting the rules wrong. So yeah, this is the fun bit of it. You've also got some other features. So some lesser known rules of the AFL. Once you get to pick 37, the AFL actually ignores points and it's your next active pick in the draft, creates the match. That hasn't been changed for 2025, which is another unforgotten rule. It also simulates that. Some of the errors we found that we are still working on, right, and we're still trying to work out, is sometimes it's telling you it's deleting picks, but it's not, but it's got the coding right. So that's more of a script thing, so that's going to be a bit more time. We might not have that done by the end of the year, but this is going to be our new go-to thing for the rest of the year, right? The rest of the year. But we have vigorously tested this to an inch of its life, right? I've tried to break it. As of yet, we can't. You'll see this quite a lot on Wednesday night when we do the live mock draft with the boys, right? But shall we do a little mock first round together? Do you want to do some trades? So remember, right, the rules are, and I am currently waiting to do it properly, but at the AFL rules, so another nuanced rule, is you don't get the picks, all of your picks on the draft night. You're limited to buy your list spots, but once the draft opens, you're allowed to go ham. So if you actually go back historically, usually the first trade on draft night is Brisbane or Gold Coast. So a couple of things to note, and you'll probably see this on Wednesday when the boys are together and we're doing this competing against each other. But you'll see that Carlton, you'll probably see the first trade will be Brisbane and Gold Coast. Eagles won't bid on Danny Hannibal, but you'd imagine Brisbane, right? Because Brisbane, when you look, they haven't got a boatload of points, right? And they've got quite a lot of list spots. If you look at Brisbane, they've got quite a lot of list spots. Now, it's quite interesting that Brisbane will be able to do it. So let's go through some trade scenarios, right? Let's go through some ones. So I'll do yours first, Lou. So pick 9 for 16 and a future first, right? So you'll see this will never happen in the AFL. Because you can see here that is a mid-tier first rounder. That's a mid-tier first rounder, right? So that's a mid-tier first rounder. Silly question. So how do they accumulate more points? Okay, so what we'll show you is let's just do a ballpark. So usually what we see come AFL draft night is teams do stupid trades. So let's take Brisbane, for example, North Melbourne. Let's see what North Melbourne have got. Have they got anything tasty? So you could see in this scenario, you could see something like that. Pick 17 for 25 and 26. So you can see there they gain 270 more points. So they gain an extra pick by trading 2 picks out. You can do that. You can do 2-for-1 deals, 4-for-3 deals. Like the example we showed at the start of the show, Gold Coast did that trade 4 picks for 1 pick. So they did that. So you could see a trade like that in this scenario where North Melbourne jump up, North Melbourne look at maybe Blake Threadgold, and they get a better pick in. They're confident that they're going to get what they need. They're going to get established players in the preseason draft. North don't have a lot of spots that they need to fill. They've trained on quite a few players rumoured. So that could be a trade. That could be a trade. All right. So that could be one. Right. So let's just say here, right, Will Dursmet, he goes pick 1. Right. This could be a really intriguing one because you'd imagine Zeke Hewland's here. But let's look at this. This is 2,481 on points, right? So pick 2 there, look, 2,481. So one of the trades people have thrown around is this one, Essendon 5 and 6, right? You can see there that Essendon 5 and 6 for pick 2 is an overpay, right, in Brisbane's theory. Now, if the rumours are true, they're trading 13 to Carlton. That does even it up. 34 does nothing. So this could be a situation where they throw in a future second, right? They throw in a future second. That works out. I don't know why Essendon would do that. I would say you're more likely, which I don't think that trade happens, to be honest. I really don't. You could make an argument that Melbourne do it, but as you can see, Melbourne are going to take 4 spots in this draft. And Melbourne, they haven't really got any picks after that. So I actually think Eagles will take that into the draft, right? So we guess Zeke Hewland goes. So they will get 43 as their change and a pick at the end of the draft, right? This could be interesting what they do here because if they did Dylan Patterson, right, you can see here they're actually going into deficit for next year on this one, right? I don't think they'll do double bids, though. I think Richmond will bid on him. So let's just say, right, I've got a feeling that if they wanted if they wanted Dyson Sharp, they might trade this. So a trade could occur here. Cooper Duff Tyler, you can see there, 56 point fit, right? 58 for Dyson, 54 for Dyson. So it's quite interesting what they do, but I think they actually keep this because I think the price is too much for them. I can't see why anyone would do it. You could maybe make an argument, right, that Melbourne come in with 8 and 9 if they don't trade that pick. Could be interesting what they do if they don't trade 14 now. But let's say they just take Cooper Duff Tyler to keep it happy and stuff like that. So then Richmond, they'll come in here, right? You can see that deficit applied. They go 17 points into deficit, right? Right? You'll notice here that this is where one of the errors comes up. It counts picks that they don't have any points on. It's a weird thing, right? I am working around, but if you actually go down to the bottom, right, Gold Coast actually do keep them picks. So it lists every pick they still have, but in the calculation, it shows you the picks that they're using, right? So then Richmond would be in this situation. This is where I think you'll see a bid on him, right? So Danny Hannibal, right? So now they're in prime position. We'd imagine at this stage they go Sullivan Roby, and I reckon they go Sam Grill, right? So this could be it. Hey, much love, mate. Congratulations, Sean. Keep kicking ass, right? And then you've got into Essendon's one, right? You've got into Essendon's one. So Essendon again, sky's the limit. So this is where live trades come really in, because if you remember that deal, right, earlier, now the picks are worth less, right? So now these picks are worth less. So, I've just fucked that up. I've just stupidly. Let me catch back up. Right, so now the picks are worth less. So let's go Dylan Patterson, Danny Hannibal, right? And then we're going Robs, we're going Grill, right? So now what you'll notice if we go here is that Essendon, when we originally did that, right? When we originally did that, right? If we actually go back to that original trade, their picks now have become less valuable. Have you noticed? So you see, this is where it's funny because at the point of time you draft, this changes. So this is going to be quite fun tomorrow on Wednesday night for it. But let's just say here, right, I reckon they bid on him. So you can see here 12, 14, count and get pick 18 in return, right? And you can see there, look, Carlton's pick 16 in return. You can see it's pick 18. Then the picks are deleted. It goes up to 16. See how nuanced it is? So you see here, Essendon cooking on gas now. I reckon Essendon goes Sam Cumming. I'm still sticking with Sam Cumming. I think they need Dyson Sharp, but I reckon they pair these two up. Right, and then this is interesting because on my mock draft, I am adamant they want someone like this. And I think they want Josh Lindsay, but we'll go with the consensus. Everyone's saying Aidan Sherbert. But you can see how it works. I agree, Travis. I mean, look, I don't think it will happen. I think West Coast won't bid on him because you did the Starcevic deal, and there's only been one trade in the last 10 years that have had that, that have had a team trade. And I think that they'll more likely do the Gold Coast players, Trav. So I think you'll actually be cool. I actually think he might actually even slide past Richmond, bro, to be honest, but be interested. So you can see that, right? What I'll do is I'll put that on Facebook and Twitter as a download for you guys. So you can have a play with it if you can and give me some feedback on it, right? So I hope you like that, but that's available to everyone, right? We'll come back to that as well. So don't worry, we'll come back to that one in a minute, right? We'll come back to that. But what I wanted to show you next is, I wanted to show you, if you enjoyed last year, our live mock drafts. We did a live mock draft where we had list managers who did the draft. Yeah, you can do that, Julian. You can do full trades. So you could trade in as many second rounders as you wanted. You can do, sky's the limit, Julian. Sky's the limit with it. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit with it, man. So, and as I get better at working with it, I agree, Krush. I agree, mate. Well, that's why if you play with it, I'm one of them. I'm one of them people that I work better when I actually do it in practice. I don't know what anyone else is like, but if I have a physical task to do, I find it a little bit easier. Do excuse me sweating, I've still got cold, so I'm still poorly, right? So that was quite fun. So I hope you enjoy it, and I want you guys to have a play with it and have some fun with it. So I want you to have some fun with it and just really enjoy yourself. Right, okay, let's go here because I need to show you this. So on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, Josh Lindsay, James. Josh Lindsay. So on Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we are doing a live mock draft with the boys, right? With the boys. So I will be representing, I will be the list manager. We're going to have full trades, full rules, everything, competing against each other. I will be the list manager of Hawthorn, St Kilda, and Western Bulldogs. Right? I don't think it'll be 11 and a future first because it's nearly a 13,000 overpay for Adelaide. It would be a bad trade. I reckon it'll be a simple, flat future first. Genuinely. Right? So I've got Hawthorn, St Kilda, and the Doggies. Right? Leg Dog joins us for the third year in the row. He's going to be Carlton, Gold Coast, and Port Adelaide. Right? And Ian joins us again for his third year in a row. He's going to be Melbourne and Adelaide, right? Jesse. LS, mate. Just going to fucking bid on every fucker. Bid on everyone, mate. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be bidding on players they don't even know they have. Jesse will be the Eagles in Sydney. Dylan Alexander joins us for the second year in a row. He will represent North Melbourne, Richmond, and Collingwood, right? The Footy Yarn, Hayden from the Footy Yarn, right? He will be joining us, Western Australian expert. He will be proudly representing Fremantle and the Cats. And Felix from Everything Essendon, our new good time friend, will be joining us from Everything Essendon. He will be representing Essendon Football Club and Brisbane Lions. So we will be doing a full mock draft, right, at 7 p.m., right? So 7 p.m. Wednesday, live on this show, full mock draft, full rules as well, full trades, full everything. We will be competing to everyone. We will be competing against each other one. Be a full-on competition. So it's going to be, there's no draft, I think, like it, because when you do your mock drafts yourself, you deliberately manipulate the draft so you get the result you want. Very hard when you're fighting someone else. When you're fighting someone else, it creates that same animosity. We've got a little bit of a chat going on as well. I've already heard that some of the list managers are planning trades, right? Right? Well, you know what, Tatum, right? Let's do this, right? Because what I've got here, and I'm going to upload this, right? I'm going to upload this next thing I'll show you, right? Where is that? Because that's horrible. I'm not showing you that Excel. Well, Julian, it's why I've got the lovely Dylan, because Dylan obviously supports them. So I figured it's easier to give a team that is a basket case an actual fan of them. Where the fuck are my power rankings gone? All right. So we're going to add this. You know what? I'm going to have to show you the ugly one, I think. Oh, wait. Ah, here we are. Here we are. I have that many spreadsheets. Right? I have that many spreadsheets. It is horrific, right? So here you are. So these are the Pommy power rankings, right? I don't think it is Tatum. I think it's Essendon 1,000%. I think it's Essendon, worst case, Melbourne 100%. I don't think West Coast do. Brisbane, West Coast won't. 2,000% Richmond won't. Essendon 1,000% will. One of them picks. But this is going to be added up to that master sheet that you saw, right? So this is basically the Pommy power ranking. So what you'll see here is if we need to kill something, we'll kill that because no one cares about their height. But what you're seeing here is you're going to see what teams they play for. You're going to see which state they're coming out of. And you're going to see where their draft range is. There'll be some anomalies here because these are based, the draft range, on what's called a consensus. So this is what other people, like the best draft analysts that I consider, draft analysts, this is where they've got them. And I've ranked them in my priority, right? So I've ranked them. You'll see here, no one else, I don't think in Australia, has given you a database like our online sheet and this sheet. But this has got... Thank you very much, Mrs. P. You are... Thank you very much. That's a big wrap. There's 125 players, right? There's 125 players. So that's what you've got in that mock draft tool that I'm going to give you. And this here... Oh, and you've got their draft ranges, right? So let's go through a few names, right, and talk about where their bids are. So Zeke Euland, right? I'm willing to put money on Zeke Euland. Willing to put money on Zeke Euland will be bid in the first two, right? In the first two, right? So let's remove open pull. You know what? It helps if you fucking learn to use a filter, doesn't it, that you've made, Pom? Oh, Pom. Pom, you're better than this, mate. So these are just them. So he will 100% in the first two, right? Danny Hannibal, I reckon 3 to 5. I reckon the late end of that. The same with Dylan Patterson, right? Hazard Dean, I reckon 5 to 7. 5 to 7, right? Adam Swade, right? I will wager money that bid comes on at North Melbourne, where North Melbourne's picks are. There's no way they'll let Essendon pick before and after them, right? Max King, I reckon that's early 20s. Right? Max King, I agree with you, Tatum. I think Hannibal is a fucking terrific footballer. Max King will be early 20s, but Adnan Saul, I think he's sliding. So I think that'll be 30 to 35. I actually think people will forget about him because he's in a depth of class that there's a lot of players that do what he does. Jack Eisen will definitely be that 21 to 30 category. Zach McCarthy. Yeah, so Sean, I actually rank him higher than anyone else in the country. I have him just on the outskirts of top 20. So this draft range is the consensus draft range. It's not mine, right? It's not mine. So I think he will be 21 to 30 bid on because you've got no ruckman at that stage. Then here, I actually have him where Zach McCarthy is. I think Tyler Williams will get a bid in the top 25 because his combine was ridiculous. And players to keep a note out for here, though, some really good footballers that I think are gettable. Jai Murray is one of the most underrated and most well-rounded footballers in the country at the minute. I think he's good. Kai Fincher, his midfield time has really stood out this year for Sandy. Charlie Banfield is an absolute jet. This is the biggest secret of the draft here. Jesse Mellor. All Australian, Geelong linked, mid-forward, absolute gun. Absolute gun. How he's not getting picked up on is beyond me. Is beyond me. But let's see all of these guys, right? Let's see all of these guys. So let's bring them back into Fragrance. Let's make sure they're sorted. Yeah, they are. Brilliant. They sorted by Pom's private ranking. So you've got some really solid footballers here. Like some really solid. So this is it. You'll see there, look, Zach McCarthy, I've got him really higher. See, Sean? Right, I've got him really high. Travis, well, you see, if you go back and watch when I was on Pies Footy last year, I said that I'd be surprised if he'd be taken in the first round. I think it's because he's got no genuine standout trait, Trav, to answer your question. Where if you watch Danny Hannibal, your boy, or even a guy that I really, really like, you'll see him quite high up on my radar. I'm a big Harrison Bridge boy. You can see how that translates to AFL. His defensive running, his application, the fact he wins tough ball. When you look at McGuan, he looks like a really good player in the juniors, but I don't see how that translates unless he's a superstar for Collingwood and they build it around him. But yeah, you'll see here, these are my personal rankings. So that is the consensus range. And this is my draft rankings. So mine are very different to everyone else's, purely because I just don't care anymore. Look, I think it's cheating. I think there's too many people, but a couple of people you'll see a lot higher than consensus. Cammy Nairn is higher than most people. Zach McCarthy, Archie Ludowick. Thank you very much, Jolly Pat. Archie Ludowick, a lot higher than other people. Harley Barker, you can see I've got very high compared to other people. Quite a few, like Rory Wright, Jai Murray, I've got highly rated. Onley and Heatherton, two of my big friends. Hugo Mukunda, one of you asked in chat. Big fan, says boy. Big fan of him. Sam Swadlin. Can't believe he's not getting enough love. Colby Coulson. I've fallen out of love with him. Quite heavily compared to them. Hunter Holmes. Where have I got Hunter Holmes? I do. Ah, that's why. Julian, good spot. Hey, mate, all these names merge into one when you've seen them all fucking year. But yeah, I really like Hunter Hubs. Where's Wally? So Where's Wally is... Where's Wally? I do have him weight rated. Nah, true footy, mate. I'm big on your mate. So Wesley Wally. I just fucking saw him. Tell you what, you've asked a good question there. Wally. There you are, Wesley Worry. So Wesley Worry, I've got him ranked just below Tom McGuan. Tom Arthur, I have Gresham here, look. I have him ranked near the bottom. Finn Davis. Why is Finn Davis? Where's Finn Davis on my sheet? Can't spell Finn. So Finn Davis, we've got, look, consensus has him late to rookie. I've got him ranked picks around 70. So I just don't see it. I think there's a lot of players like him and a lot of players at junior level done better than him. So you can see that. So the consensus rankings here, and then you've got the POM ranking here. Can we do 15 to 17? Okay, let's do, where's 15? What's that? 13, 14, 15. Mate, top of the tree, Jesse. I have, mate. As you get older, mate, gets a little bit smaller, so we always rate a well-hung man, mate. So Ollie Greaves, Mitch Marsh, Noah Hibbins. I think Harley Barker's the steal of the draft. Jolly Pet, I think he's the steal of the draft. I think he's a top 5 player, had he not got his injury. Javan Philippou, Oscar Taylor, Latrell Pickett, Swade, King, Threadgold, Ludowick, Jack Eisen, Louis Emmett, Zach McCarthy, Leon Kickett. So Jesse will hate me for this, but my 30th ranked player is this gentleman, Tyler Williams. All the hype at the minute is going towards Kickett, Latrell. Tatum, spot on, brother. Also gets darker, which I've never understood why your willy gets darker as you get older. Like, I look like I've been in Magaluf for 6 weeks naked. Tyler Williams. I think this kid is a superstar. An absolute superstar. And I can't believe no one is giving it. The fact they've lost Liam Ryan, it's turning into a harder defensive worker than him. Quicker version of him, I think he's a massive look. Matty Leray, Jolly Pet is one to watch out for, especially his time. Robbie Wright and Leray, 2 players that have played a little bit at halfback this year, which I think really makes their profile good. Harry Carl and Lockie Carmichael, 2 terrific footballers. Really, Jesse? Fuck, tell you what, I'll have him. Riley Onley, my Marcus Bontempelli 2.0. If you watched it with Dylan, I'm a big Riley Onley man. Langy, probably true, mate. Probably true. You got this Jack Dalton, superstar. Night, mate. Love you. Sam Swadlin, Freddie Rodriguez. Night, mate. Love you. You see, my oldest didn't want to say it. Didn't want to say it. Tatum, I'm a big Pickett fan. You know what? Max Gondianis. I don't know if I've massacred that. Sorry to my Greek brothers and sisters. Right? But one to watch out for. Charlie Banfield, really like what he could do. So yeah, there's like my top 50. Have a play with that as well. Jolly Pat, I've got a little bit of a pomspiracy that Hawks have fucked that deliberately. I'm glad you like, hey, you know what, Trav? I know you take the piss and you say that I hate Brisbane, but I've given you guys a fucking G up in the off-season, mate, Trav. I hope one day you and me can have a beer. But I'm a big fan of Harrison and I'm a big fan of Tyan. Big fan. You can see here there's quite a few people that are getting a lot of love as well where Tyan's around. So yeah, so check that out as well. Got the POM Power rankings. Just how I see it. It's just my opinion. Could be right, could be wrong. That is that, really. That is it. That is that. But what we're going to do is chat. Who's in... oh, fuck. Dying. Who is more intelligent than me? Which probably isn't too hard, to be fair. Because I am getting older. I swear you get a little bit more foolish as you get older. But what's the best way that I can share the mock draft with you to upload it? Let's have a look. Can I do that? You know what? This website looks really dodgy, so I like it. I like a dodgy website. I like a dodgy website. So if we open that, does this work? Okay, right, brilliant. Oh, Google Drive. Okay, Google Drive. That is a good shout. You know what? That is a good shout because I actually have heard of Google Drive. I've actually heard of Google Drive. It's a good shout. Okay, let's do that. Right, upload, file, upload. Right, we'll do this real time. Uh, Make sure I'm putting the right one in actually, because I've got 4 on here. Let's have a look. Right, just make sure this one, I can tell because one has a real funny error. Okay, right, so if I upload that, upload file, Pom mock draft, where are you? Pommy mock draft. Okay, share file. Share file. Right, bear with me, chat. So, I'm just uploading it now. Hey, tell you what, how good's that? Tell you. Hey, I love that. I'm very well, Billy. Thank you, mate. I'm very well. I'm very well. Right. Okay, so if I share the link. So, there you are, Chatteroo. There you are. So if you jump on there, you can play with that drive. Right. So hopefully that works. Hopefully that works, and then you can just download it. And it should just open up. Access denied. Did it? Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Let me go and play. So I need to go into the Pommy and Oz section. Give me a sec, chat, and I'll get this all sorted for you so you can all play it. All right, give me a sec, and I'll make it free for everyone. I'll make it free for everyone. Right. Tell you what, Pom's just so old, isn't he? Right, so if I go there, and go into... Why can't I see it? Oh, there we are. That's why. Right, share. What's my new chant? I don't know yet. I'm going to have to make one up. Try that one, chat. Josh, took a while, mate. Took a while, mate. Trust me. I've spoke to that more than my wife. So check it out, chat. Just a couple of things before you start playing with it, right? Hey, welcome, Billy. I love you, brother. Welcome, right? Couple of things that I just need you to do when you play with it, right? When you play with it, these are very important to me. So I get you. If you download it and then open it, with Google Chrome. So download it and open it with Google Chrome. Right? So there you are. So download it, open it with Google Chrome or your Internet Explorer, right? But just to make sure, I am still fiddling around with this because there's some back end, there's code that contradicts other code in there, right? Make sure you click reset before everything, right? Reset before everything, right? Reset before you do anything because that syncs everything up. And then if you make a mistake, right, press Control R or F5, refresh it, and then press reset again. Because for some reason, I can't get it to repopulate the list. Apart from that, any issues, we will be working through it. It's at version 3 at the minute. And there's probably going to be version 25. So, honestly, all I ask for it, if you make content with it, give me a shout out, give me some love. And honestly, the next thing we're going to do is add a way that you can print that out and send it to me. That would be really cool. So I've got a few things to add, but I hope you like it. I wanted to share it because I saw there's like about 8 going round at the minute. True Footy's doing one, Sotarim's doing one. And I was like, Tigercast is doing one. I was like, I really want everyone to have it because I don't believe knowledge should be for one person. I think it should be for everyone. And that's how everyone gets smarter. So I think I want you guys to understand what's going on as well. It's amazing, Campbell. I want everyone to understand what's going on. So spent a lot of time, right, on that. And being able to get, like I said, if you go back and watch the start of the show, the AFL draft rules are incredibly nuanced. And I've noticed that some of them aren't doing it right. So that is very important to me, that you're learning the right method as well. Because when I first did it, right, and I first learned it took me ages to understand that nuance and that archetype of the role. Debbie, thank you very much. Much love. Good surname, that, Deb. Billy, thank you very much. So, chat, look after yourselves. Play with that. Let me know. Email me, pommyandozYT@gmail.com, or just send me a DM if you find a bug or something that's fixed. Bear with me. I'm 40 years old and not the smartest human being in the world when it comes to graphic design and code. So it'll take me a while. Right? But I'll try and get it fixed for you, but it'll be a work in progress. If you do understand code and you are a very good programmer, please get in touch because I would love to make that look even more aesthetically pretty as opposed to how it looks at the minute. Because it looks nice, but I think it could look better. But you know what? We'll learn. So, chat, thank you very much for watching. I love you so much. I'm going to get off because you can see I'm sweating my balls off because I'm still ill. But I will be back Wednesday with the team. Stay tuned for the updates. The biggest one we've done. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next week. Love you all. Have a play with it. And I'll see you very soon. I'm out.